Hey lovelies, thanks for stopping by my channel. We are here to talk about more eyeshadow palettes. Today I am here to be doing the eyeshadow palette tag part 2. This was created by the beautiful, the wonderful Samantha March and Ellie Glein, so I will make sure to have their videos posted down below. I had every intention. I watched both of their part 1s, and when that came out I was like, yeah, this is a great tag, I'm doing this. And then life got in the way of YouTube, and then I never did it. So I was like, no, Kelly, you are doing part 2. So that is going to be what we're doing today. So if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist. And here on my channel, I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Like more tags, like more eyeshadow videos, like more makeup goodies. Now, we have the list here. I have a beautiful screenshot of the smiling Samantha March sitting here and all of the questions for this tag. So I'm pumped to get into this. I really did enjoy the ladies' videos. I just really enjoy, like, I think this is a nice walk through memory lane. These questions slash prompts were very good. It really made me sit down and think. And also, this was really valuable because my eyeshadow palette declutter is coming up soon, and it really made me kind of like analyze my collection a little bit. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. All right, so now is the perfect time to just jump in with honesty and say that I've cheated. I have cheated a couple times in this questionnaire, if you will, and it's more so just so I could like kind of go over my thought process with all of you. So starting out with number 1, the all-time favorite. That is the last one I picked out because that is really hard. That is a really hard pick for me. So I had sort of like narrowed it down to a couple, and then I had to go back and regroup my thoughts. So here are the 2 that I narrowed it down to. The wonderful Tiny Marvels palette with Sydney Grace and Mel Thompson. Mine is very, very well loved. I probably should have like given these a little overhaul before I thought I would show them. And then the other one that was in the rankings for number 1 was my Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. So this is another one that I really, truly love. I mean, the color stories are very different, but they have a few similarities. So these both hold such a special place in my heart. Obviously, Tiny Marvels and Mel Thompson, I mean, we all know how we feel about Mel, and so this holds a very special place in my heart because of that. I am so glad that Sydney Grace brought it back and that they said that, you know, as long as there's an interest in it, they will be able to sell it. So if you haven't gotten it, I really encourage you to get it. And this is the one that is taking my all-time favorite palette spot. So the reason for that is because I honestly feel like I could use this palette more. Just because we have some options for different seasons, I feel like I could get some like toasty vibes. I mean, this is a predominantly like cooler palette other than like the gold, but you can still get like some richness. Whereas out of this palette, out of the Metropolis, like you're mostly gonna get deeper, earthier, but you don't really have like bright and fun. So I love both of these. The formulas are different, but I love the formulas of both. But this is just one that I think I could reach for more often. So this is the one that's gonna like nudge Metropolis out of the way. So I do love the Sydney Grace formula. I think it is so easy to use. The shimmers are beautiful. The mattes are, of course, just gorgeous. And you know, it's very special to have a little piece of Mel with me. So that is my all-time favorite. So moving on to question 2, my new favorite. Oh, this was a hard one. So I'm not sure how like new we have to be going here, but this is the one that I immediately grabbed just because if you saw the video, you saw my reaction to it. The Giant Wolves palette from Odin's Eye, and of course the beautiful Annette's Makeup Corner. So this palette, oh my gosh. I mean, this palette, there's just something about this palette that it just blew my skirt up. I always say like, it didn't really blow my skirt up, but this one, my skirt was up over my head. I will make sure to have that video linked down below, by the way, if you want to see the look I created and just see my oohs and ahs and giggles. It was amazing and I love it. I've only played with this one a couple times, and in all honesty, Odin's Eye is a newer brand to me. Well, not newer like knowing of, but newer playing with. I finally dove in on Black Friday and I have 0 regrets. So I do have 3 palettes from the brand now. Like I said, I really did dive in, but this one is definitely It's definitely a new favorite, and I have a feeling it's going to be a favorite for a while. All right, the palette I keep for the memories. Now, I have talked about this one here on my channel before. It's so funny because there are a couple in here that could like go for a couple different reasons, right? I'm sure if you are a creator, you kind of know, or even if you're not and you had to like do this list yourself, you would know that like some palettes just keep nudging each other out of different spots. But this one is the one that I settled with. So I keep this one for the memories. I've talked about this before. It's the Dream Street collab between ColourPop and Kathleen Lights. This one, so for a couple reasons. This one was, oh my gosh, it could very well have been my very first ColourPop palette. I did purchase some of the Super Shocks, but this was probably my very first palette. And I was like just so enamored by Kathleen when I first found her on YouTube. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still like her. I just don't feel like I connect with her as much anymore. But I did just love her content, and I love this palette. I mean, we talked about it. Hello, rose gold, and inside we've got these beautiful like rose goldy, like coppery. Of course, we've got the aquas. We've got a nice little warm moment over here. And this one is also one that I grabbed for several vacations to just like throw in my bag, have on hand. You can get some beachy vibes out of this one, and I just love it. So between the memories of like my first dive into YouTube as a viewer, and then also just the places that this one has been with me. So I love it. Several times now I've been like, okay, Kelly, how old is this? And I'm like, you should probably get rid of it, but I just love this one. I just keep it along for the memories. So now for underrated palette. Here's another cheat, but it's like a mini cheat. So these are the Flower Beauty Desert Lights and Jungle Lights palettes. So let me open these up so that you can see. These are, I would say, kind of like sister palettes, and there's only 6 shades in each. So give me a break here. Using both of these is only 12. So these shades are just so pretty. And the thing is like the formula in these, I mean, I don't know why more people haven't tried these. I know that Jungle Lights did have its moment here on YouTube, but I just don't hear many people talk about Flower Beauty in general. I don't think enough people have tried Flower Beauty. I love the blush bombs. There have been a few other products that I've really enjoyed, but these eyeshadow palettes are just so incredible. If you love a good shimmer shade, these have like almost that like foiled consistency. They do have like a little bit thicker consistency, but boy, they just pop on the lids, and they are at such a good price. I mean, Flower Beauty is still one of those drugstore brands that I feel like is at a good drugstore price. You know, sometimes you're just like, I'm sorry, how much is that? So I feel like for the quality, they really are valued very well, and I just don't hear enough about these palettes. If you have one of these, let me know that you love it too down below. Okay, here's another cheat moment. Not a favorite, but you can't get rid of it. All right. Okay, I have 2 here. Too Faced Gingerbread Spice. Too Faced Gingerbread Extra Spicy. So this gingerbread spice was a favorite for a while. For a hot minute, I really did enjoy this. And this, I feel like, I remember when it came out and I did a comparison to the Modern Renaissance palette from, of course, Anastasia Beverly Hills. I feel like this has Modern Renaissance vibes, but more options. And I love the freaking smell. It still smells great. I love it. And then, of course, when Extra Spicy came out, I like took a peek and I was like, yeah, they have some similar vibes, but they are different. Now you can see, well, maybe you can't see. Oh, these like magnet together. This could be one mega palette, one mega spicy palette. But as I was saying, you probably can't tell, but this one I've barely used. Like, it looks barely touched. In fact, there are shades in here that I have never used. So there's just something about this color story that I really like. I just know now that like what I've seen with shadows, especially shimmer shades, these just, they don't hold a candle to what else is out there that I have. I should probably pull this one out. In fact, that's, I think, what I'm going to do. Once this video is done, I am going to go ahead and pull this one out and put it into my makeup basket for the week. There we go. But I need to just play with this one a little bit to see if I do want to keep it. But the reason I have a hard time is like, I just love these palettes at one point. This one I was so excited to get, and Gingerbread Spice I really did love, but now I just feel like they don't excite me all that much anymore. but I feel like for some reason I should be hanging on to them. And really, I need to just keep one of these, if any. Maybe I should declutter them both, but I really just need to keep one of these. So I think what I need to do is like put both of these in my makeup basket, because I really need to decide that. And my eyeshadow declutter, like I said, is coming up soon. And so I need to have spent a moment with these ladies. So we are going to go ahead and put these in the makeup basket. It's right over here. Let me know which one you like better if you have both. The extra spicy, is that, no, the classic or the extra spicy. So one of these is on the chopping block, if not both. And I just haven't been able to do it. So this should be the palette that I just can't get rid of, but I'm going to get rid of one. I'm going to. Count me in. All right, so now for my favorite collab. Now, obviously this one could have come in, but since this one is quite new to me, I feel like that's a little bit cheating. And there was one other one that like immediately when I saw this, I was like, oh, collab, boom. And that was the Anastasia Beverly Hills and Jackie Aina palette. Why? Because it is awesome. I mean, really, like this palette is so gorgeous. You have a beautiful mix of some warm shades. You've got some fun purples. You have some beautiful like neutrals. I love this palette as a whole. I freaking love the packaging too. Like, oh, this is so gorgeous. This is definitely though the first time that I remember a Black content creator getting to shine. And wow, this was the way to do it. And I just feel like also this was like, this is where Anastasia started kind of going like this for me. So I'm just like, okay, we were going out on a good moment, because I think that this is the last Anastasia palette that I have purchased. So I love this one. I love Jackie. She did a great job with this, and I'm happy to have it in my collection. Here is a palette that I didn't expect to love. I actually had this in the underrated slot, and then when I saw this question, I was like, oh, nope, it's both. It's underrated and it's something that I didn't expect to love. So it's going in here, and this is the Violet Voss All of You Forever palette. This, I think, okay, so the color story. The color story is totally me, and it's very beautiful. You've got greens, you've got some like warm browns here, you've got a couple champagne-y gold shades. I love it. I guess I just wasn't sure. So I did get this in BoxyCharm. And you know, sometimes, especially the eyeshadow palettes, sometimes the stuff you get in BoxyCharm, you're kind of like, okay, this is gonna be 50-50, right? But this one I absolutely loved. I just wasn't sure how the quality was gonna be, but I absolutely love it. I actually just did a giveaway for my New Year's Eve bash here on YouTube, and I'm so excited that this is getting sent to a lovely subscriber. Well, not this one, that would be gross, but a brand new one I sent out because I just wanted to share some of my faves with some of my faves. So that way I was able to share it, and I love it. So if you haven't gotten a chance to try this palette, or you haven't gotten a chance to try Violet Voss, I feel like most of the things that I've tried from the brand have been beautiful. This color story though, it just gets me, and I do love it, and I really didn't expect to. Okay, here we have a palette that sparks joy. The Citronata palette from Glam Shop. I mean, how could it not? How could this beautiful, shiny 9-pan not just bring me happiness? So this for me, and I talked about this in another video, this sort of bumped out of what probably would have won. I think before this palette, the Hey Honey, is that what it was? Hey, hey, honey, hey, honey. Hey, honey. I think that was it. Let me grab it here. Okay, yeah. Oh, the honey. I always say hey, honey. Honey. So this has bumped this one out, and I talked about this. I know I'm probably repeating myself, but in case you didn't see that video, the reason for that is just they seem similar, but let me tell you, as far as pigment goes, as far as pow, as far as like super fun shimmers, this one is going to be the winner. And I know some of you out there are pressed glitter haters. This one has a pressed glitter, this one does not. This is just all like fun shimmer shades. So for me, I do love everything yellow. I love yellow makeup. I think that it's just a way to like boost your mood. And so the Citronata palette, it's just gotta be my joy moment. A 2021 favorite. So I had a couple that I listed in my beauty favorites for 2021. I will make sure to have that video linked up above if you do want to check that one out. And I had to pick one. I had to pick one out of all of them, and for me it was the one that I feel like is the most versatile and the one that I honestly grabbed the most. And that is the beautiful Celestial Odyssey palette by Pat McGrath. This is of course her Mothership Mega palette this year. Oh, she's so pretty, and I have really had so much fun with this. I had fun creating, I think I did 3 looks in the video that I did. I think I used this one on Christmas Day, and I just wanted something like neutral, warm, pretty, love it, and this is the one that I went with, and I just love it. I think I've just said that like 7 times, so it's obviously a favorite of mine. I know that some people, again, are kind of like meh as far as the Mothership Megas, but I think that they are a great deal, and especially if you got it on the mega sale that went on the Mothership Mega right after the holidays. I am excited for you. All right, and now for the newest palette in my collection, the Blend Bunny Cosmetics The Dollhouse palette. This baby is so pretty. I did a 3 looks 1 palette video here and a nice little review. Well, I mean, I thought it was a nice review. I just mean like an all thorough review here on YouTube. Again, all of these, if I have any content that goes with any of these palettes, I'll make sure to have it linked down below, or at least I'll try. So this palette to me, I mean, I could definitely see this becoming a favorite palette. I'm not going to lie. The mattes, everybody who knows about Blend Bunny knows that the mattes are stellar, amazing, gorgeous. I have all 3 of the palettes now. The first one I got was the Surge palette, and I did say that the one thing for me is that the shimmers are a little bit finicky, as far as I feel like the best way to apply them is with your finger, and I'm not super about that life. And so right away when I tried these, I had to ask Maggie. I was like, did you change the formula of these shimmers? Because they just seem to work so well with a finger, with a silicone applicator, with a brush. And she was like, yep, we heard from our customers, which I love. I love that a brand is really going to listen to the people purchasing their products, spending their money on these things, and, you know, kind of making tweaks along the way. So she said that she wanted to make a beautiful eyeshadow that, you know, more people felt comfortable using, and a formula that everyone really enjoyed. And so she created it. Like, I love this, and most of the other people that I know that I've talked to about this palette said that they're really enjoying this formula much better. This one, okay, so you have some beautiful cool tones, you have a few warm tones, you have a couple pops of color, and you have everything you could need. Some beautiful deepening shades. I know that right here from this vantage point, it looks like all of these are like the same shade, but these do have a variety of undertones to them, which is so important when you are deepening up looks. I think you can really tell the difference with these once you start using them. There are a couple in here that I think could be like nudged a little further apart from each other, but really they all have a beautiful different undertone. So this is just so usable. You can get gorgeous neutrals, you can get a fun little pop of color, you can do something with 2 shadows, you can do something with 17 shadows, depending on what your jam is. I like that this is a pretty compact palette for how many shadows are in here. You get a lot for the space that you are using up, and that is important. If you are an eyeshadow palette lover, you know, like, precious real estate. Real estate is an expensive commodity in our vanities, and so it better be something that is worth it. And I'm telling you that this one is. Okay, lovelies, the last question is the first palette I used in 2022. Here's the thing. I was looking back, and I think that the Giant Wolves palette might have been the first one that I used, because I got it on Black Friday and I'd been kind of like holding out, and I think that that might have been the first one I used. But the video went up after this one, but I think this was the second palette. So I'm just going with this one because you've already heard me yammer on about Giant Wolves. So this one, my Pat McGrath. This is the Midnight Sun Mothership. Sorry, I was just blinding you. Yes, I still have the box. Of course, I was asking people, are you team keep the box? Are you team get rid of the box? I am team get rid of the box, but I haven't done it yet. So this palette, I did do a review, by the way. This is my first Mothership palette, like my first 12-pan Mothership palette. There we are. So I did enjoy the look that I did with this. I think I've only used it one other time. I really just need to pull this one out again. Okay, so this one is gonna go into my makeup bucket next week. That's gonna be quite the change from Too Faced to Pat McGrath, but that's gonna be what we do so that I can use this one a little bit more. I did really like it. I did find that a couple of the shades were a little bit fussy to use. Those special sparkle shades, for me, I was just kind of like, I don't know if I wanna get down with that life. I think what I need to do is get down with that life without other makeup on, and that's not what I did. So I just want to play more. I just want to play more with this. I got this at such a good deal when Pat McGrath just decided to put like half of her website 40% off. So I really am glad to have this. The box is still here. I haven't done it yet, but I have a feeling eventually this one will go probably after the eyeshadow declutter. That's probably going to be when it's time to just like get down to the nitty gritty, throw out the boxes, throw out the boxes, throw out the packaging, and just like live a more like simplified eyeshadow life. This was so much fun. I hope you all had half as much fun watching this as I did filming it, because it was just a blast getting to go through some of the things that I love and some of the things that are in my collection. And thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to spend it with me. It really does mean so much. If you did like this video, please don't forget to give it a like. It really does help me out here on my channel. We are almost at 2K, baby. I am so excited. And of course, there will be more eyeshadows and more tags down the road. If there's a tag that I've missed and you would like to see me do it, drop that comment down below and I'll see you really soon.